August 6, 1945. A single bomb drops over Hiroshima, and within seconds, the city is gone. 3 days later, Nagasaki meets the same fate. Over 200,000 people vanished. But what if that never happened? What if America decided not to drop the bomb? Would Japan have surrendered? Would World War II have ended differently? And most importantly, would nuclear weapons even exist today? This alternate history might shock you. To understand this what-if scenario, we need to go back to the final days of World War II. It's 1945. Hitler is dead, Germany has surrendered, and the war in Europe is officially over. But in the Pacific, Japan refuses to back down. The United States had already firebombed over 60 Japanese cities, killing more than 500,000 civilians. Yet Japan's military leaders still refused unconditional surrender. The US feared a costly invasion, codenamed Operation Downfall, where estimates predicted over 1 million American casualties and up to 10 million Japanese deaths. So, President Harry Truman made the toughest decision in history: drop the world's first atomic bomb on Hiroshima, then Nagasaki. 6 days later, Japan surrendered, ending World War II. But was this truly necessary? What if Truman had chosen another path? This decision wasn't simple. Some of the most powerful men in the US did not want the bomb to be used. General Dwight Eisenhower, the future US president, thought Japan was already close to surrendering. General Douglas MacArthur, who led the Pacific War, called the bomb completely unnecessary. Even scientists like Albert Einstein and J. Robert Oppenheimer feared that this would start a nuclear arms race. But others disagreed. President Truman and Secretary of War Henry Stimson believed the bomb would end the war immediately and save lives. Some US generals wanted to showcase America's nuclear power to scare the Soviet Union. There was also another hidden reason. The US wanted to send a message to the Soviet Union. They knew a Cold War was coming. Using the bomb would establish America as the world's dominant power. But if the bomb wasn't dropped, what would have happened instead? There are a few possible outcomes in this alternate timeline. Scenario 1. The US invades Japan. Operation Downfall would have been the largest military invasion in history. Japan's military had trained civilians, including women and children, to fight with bamboo spears. Millions would have died in brutal ground battles. Scenario 2. Japan surrenders without the bomb. Some historians argue Japan was already preparing to surrender due to Soviet pressure. The US had already destroyed Japan's economy and blockaded its resources. If the US had waited just a few more weeks, Japan might have surrendered on its own. Scenario 3. The Soviet Union takes over Japan. On August 9, 1945, the Soviet Union invaded Japanese-occupied Manchuria with 1.6 million troops. If the war continued, the USSR could have taken Japan, turning it into a communist ally like North Korea. Instead of Japan becoming a US ally, it could have become part of the Soviet bloc in the Cold War. In other words, if the US never used the atomic bomb, Japan might have become a communist state under Soviet rule. The Cold War could have started differently, or even earlier. But the atomic bomb didn't just end World War II, it changed the entire world. The Cold War began, the US and USSR started a nuclear arms race out of fear. The nuclear age was born. Countries like China, India, Pakistan, and North Korea eventually developed nuclear weapons. And Hiroshima became a warning. Without the bomb, nations might not have feared nuclear war as much as they do today. Right now, there are over 12,000 nuclear weapons on Earth. And here's the scariest part. We've come dangerously close to using them again. So, was the atomic bomb truly necessary? Or was it a tragic mistake? If the US hadn't dropped it, how different would the world be today? Would we be safer? Or in even more danger? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the atomic bomb should have been used, or was there another way?